As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse. Welcome back to another episode of the Order of the Blazing Horse, your only Detroit Pistons podcast based on a mystical prophecy. I am one of those prophets, Harry Morrow's touched by a horse, here to give you the good word. Joined as always by my co-prof, my co-host with the most on the West Coast, smooth as butter on your toast,
Mickey Jacobs. Harry. How you doing today?
Bro, I could not be doing better. Buzzer beater Cade, his first 3-point game-winning make. So excited against the Miami Heat of all teams. The Miami Heat, who beat them on the buzzer with that Bam 3 last year. The Miami Heat, who Cade missed the 3-point against to beat this year. Such sweet justice, son. How are you doing?
So good. Juice levels through the roof right now. It's amazing. It was almost a year ago yesterday. It was March 17th, 2024 was when Bam hit that 3 to seal the deal against us in heartbreaking fashion.
Oh my God.
Just absolutely brutal. And I feel like that was when Bam had just started shooting threes too, pretty much. Like they just started to fall.
I think it was his fourth of the season.
Brutal. But not this time.
No. Even though he was balling. I do want to give Bam credit. He was balling. And he looked good. You know what's so wild about last night? Also, before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to Christopher Hammond, who says, we're sizzling out here. Christopher, you ain't wrong, son. Ooh, that's the Pistons.
My hand was sizzling so hard. Don't touch him.
Don't touch that. Keep your hand off the stove when the bacon's cooking. Even as good as Bam looked last night, he looked great. His jump shot and jab step was really working. I actually thought Jalen Duren looked pretty good and did not get the benefit of the whistle. There were 2 fouls on him. One, I think his first foul, which was like a Bam fall, and then one against Davion Mitchell, where I was like, why is this being called? This is so insane to run into a player who is in position, not doing anything wrong, and you get the foul called on you. It sucks. Meanwhile, as we all know, how many free throws did Cade get last night?
0.
Goose egg. None. Zilch. And he gets contact every time he goes in the lane. What are these whistles? It felt very much retaliatory for... Retaliatory? Is retaliatory or retaliatory? Give me the towel.
It was vengeance against JB by the vengeance.
Vengeance, yeah. But it seemed
in your Porky Pig bag tonight.
Hey man, we're talking about bacon grease. You got your Porky Pig out here. We're working it.
Yeah, on brand, on theme.
WB, hire me back. The day the Earth still go see it. But. It felt very much like the refs are saying, hey, just so you know, we're still the whistleblowers here. And they sure were not. It wasn't like, I didn't think it was like an egregiously foul called game or anything. It's so wild to see someone like Cade just continually not get the whistle. You know what game he got the bad whistle in? That Washington game that they lost when he got 20 free throws.
20 free throws. That's got to be a career high for him, right?
I think by 7. It was either 7 or 6 higher than his career. So essentially 50% higher than his career high already. And that was a game that they were losing to the worst team in the NBA. I wonder why he's getting all the whistles. I don't know. Maybe because sports gambling is not only legal, but all over everywhere, every commercial, nonstop. Just a conspiracy theory, but one with a lot of legs, I think.
Yeah, no, it's really overwhelming. Now ESPN's got its own betting service. I want to go ahead and say it's ruining the game, unless, of course, they start to sponsor this podcast, in which case I'm all for it. I think it's great. We love a little action. We love a little juice. But until that point, it's killing the league.
Mickey, I'm going to take a stand right now. I will not be accepting that sponsorship. I can't get down with it. I'm sorry to all the sports gamblers out there. I understand what you're going through. I understand like that you want to gamble on sports and that it's fun and all that. My integrity just won't let it be. I'm sorry, Mickey. Even if we need,
that's fine.
If we need the
cash. You
have
integrity. That's great for you. I will take the money. FanDuel, BetMGM. We've got to occupy different spaces, Harry. I'm very willing to sell out.
They just sponsor your
price.
window. It's on there.
Yeah.
They put their ad over my window the entire time, like in the picture-in-picture when they're showing the interview in the games for the NBA, which, by the way, also sucks. I hate those. But
yeah, absolutely. I can be bought. I will get like Post Malone level face tattoos of FanDuel for the right price. So, just putting that out there, putting that out into the universe.
He might also do it.
Harry doesn't want to grow the podcast, but I do. So,
I want to grow it. Mickey might get those face tattoos for the right price. He might also do it for the right subs, because we're looking to get subscriptions to the podcast, though, right? We're trying to get as many as we can. Hit the like button if you're watching this live, or if you're watching it and this is in the past for us. Hit the subscribe button so you know when we're coming on, so you get the updates on that. And you'll especially know if you hit that notification button, set those to on. That way you know when we're going to come on. Really appreciate it. We're trying to get as many subs as Malik Beasley has threes by the end of the season, which is, that's a tall glass of water to get into, considering he dropped another 5 last night. I think putting him over 260 on the season right now with over a dozen games to go. Yow.
Yeah, it's just him and Ann Edwards, so, up there. But yes, please like, subscribe, share with a friend. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you think. We want to hear from you. Spread the love.
Please. Where is the love? If we might go to the Black Eyed Peas. Was that a Black Eyed Peas song? Where is the love? Yeah,
of course.
Black Eyed Peas, as we all know, are NBA Pistons fan legends for their... let's use the clean version. Let's get it started during the going to work Pistons run to the championship. And Mickey, after these last 2 games, do you feel like the Pistons got a shot at the ship?
Yeah, I think we're getting out of the first round. That's my homer take, but I feel really good about it, especially if we play the Knicks. I'm still in my want to play the Knicks bag. I know I feel like I'm starting to become an outlier here. I think everybody wants home court advantage. They want to push. I feel it. I'm not trying to throw games. I'm not trying to shave points unless BetMGM wants me to. No. I at this point, like, you just got to keep pushing, and like what's happening organically is just like so much fun to watch. I'm just getting texts from friends, family, watching the game, sweat just pit staining up these shirts, man. Watching those guys go for it. But it was a really great game. You had all 5 starters plus Malik in double figures.
Oh yeah.
Asar stayed on the floor 28 minutes.
28 minutes. That's a good 10 more than he's been playing as of late, right?
Yep. And to your point about Duren, no stocks, but I agree. I think he played really good defense on Bam as much as you can. He gave him some trouble. And as you smartly pointed out, like, I don't mind Duren getting into early foul trouble, because who's coming off the bench? Stu,
right? And like a lot of those fouls that Duren's getting, not a lot, but like, okay, so some of the fouls on him are like wild. They get called, but the second foul for him, he reached around to try to get like a steal on a pass, and I'm all for that. Like the amount of times that's worked out in his favor is great. And I do want to say he's not getting as many fouls for jumping early on pump fakes and like biting. I do think the Pistons as a whole, they are still biting a little bit, but there were so many moments when they did not bite. And I just feel like, especially Stu. Stu is so unbelievable at reading when the pump fake is a pump fake and not a shot attempt. I don't know what the secret is, because I don't know when this sort of stuff is going on, but it's unbelievable. In the Pelicans game, we watched a couple times. They kept attacking Stu, and like one time it worked, and literally every other time it did not work. My favorite moment of that Pelicans game, Kelly Olynyk, he takes the ball, he drives at Stu, and he stops dead in his tracks because he knows if he goes up, he's going down, and the ball's coming with him. He doesn't even get the shot attempt off. In fact, he gets trapped on the side by Tobias Harris, and they get a shot clock violation because he was too scared to shoot over Stu. And I think he has like a 4 or 5 inch height advantage over Stu on top of it. Awesome stuff. Awesome watching this team play defense. Duren was big. ESPN was gushing over him. You want to talk about juiced? Those mouths were juiced up just thinking about that man. Oh, my Lord. And with a lot of pulp. We're talking full pulp. Not some pulp, not no pulp, all pulp. Because that dude
Heavy
is
pulp.
Pulped up, man. Duren's been so good. I saw it put out there. I think it was by Laz Jackson. Shout out to Laz. That it's seeming more and more likely that Duren's going to get a $100 million deal. I think he's getting north of 120. And you know what? I'm here for it. If he's playing the way that he's been playing, if he stays this this passing center, not center of the offense, but like semi-hub for the offense, because when Cade's not the hub and it's in Duren's hands, Bryce Simon had a video breaking down a lot of the Pistons play calls. A lot goes through Duren, and his passing is good. His vision is good. And his finishing in this last game around the basket was not dunks, and it was still good. Give them his money. I'm fine with it. I would rather pay him more of that money to retain him playing this way than I would be comfortable paying him $100 million if he's playing the way he's playing in 2024.
To be clear, are you talking about a 4-year contract?
Talk to me, baby.
Well, 120, 4-year, $30 million a
year.
Yeah,
that'd be 124 years, or we're talking like 5 years, something like that. Or if it's three, I don't want it to be 3. Because I don't think that's enough. And he looks so big and so powerful in a way he did not look last season. Last season, when we saw him play Ivica Zubac, he was getting bodied around. When he was playing like Jonas Valanciunas, he was getting bodied around. Now it's on like Voltron, son. He's a mech out there. He is a beast. His arms are 2 lions. It's just too much for people to overcome. And we've been saying this for a while now. Duren's offensive rebounding in the clutch is so unbelievable. His offensive rebound in this game against Miami Heat led to a pass out to Cade Cunningham for a go-ahead 3-pointer. That's huge.
For sure. He's absolutely key. And I think what I love seeing from him too, the Pistons, like, I don't know the stats on it. They're probably not the best team in terms of finishing around the rim. But when he is rim running, he's so there for those putbacks. If Cade smokes a layup, if THJ puts a little too much on it, Tobias, like, he has been so solid as just like a one-man cleanup crew. Him and Asar just like flying in out of nowhere to put it back in is just like really help save the day on many a possession.
Right. The way that Stu times his blocks, that's how Duren times his putback slams. Truly. It's really remarkable stuff. He's gotten us out of a fair share of pinches in that regard. And like, he wasn't even close to a story last night. The story was all Cade Cunningham, 9th triple-double of the season. One shy of a Piston record tied with Grant Hill would be 10, the most triple-doubles in a Piston season by a Piston. So let's see if Cade can get that in the next couple games. Would really love to. He's been so close so many times. I just want him to get all the records this year. We mentioned Asar with 28 minutes, also 14 points, 3 stocks. Dude's everywhere, serious force. The handle is also pretty sick handle all going on with him. I'm loving seeing him attack in the half court more often than not. He had a huge clutch half court bucket last night, And if you were to tell me that Asar's scoring clutch buckets in the half court earlier this season, I'd be like, no, there's no way. He's just too loosey-goosey. But it's looking great. It's really looking very good. And Tobias, always there. The blocks from Tobias last night, 4 blocks, career high.
Career high.
Yeah. Four blocks and a steal, 5 stocks last night. You know what those blocks remind me of? You know when you see videos online, like on TikTok or on like YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, any of that stuff, where there's like a person sitting somewhere and they're not paying attention, they're talking to somebody, and there's a cat on the counter behind, and the cat's not liking what's going on, and you just see the cat raise its hand, raise its paw real quick, and just swat it off. That's all of those blocks from Tobias. Tobias is a man possessed this season. He's not going through the motions. He wants this success. He wants it so bad. You see him in the videos after the game. Like, he's up there, man. This guy is amped. You can really see it run through his veins. I didn't know he met his wife in Detroit. That's great. The city of love, a little spark, Cupid's arrow going through his heart, getting these buckets on from the mid post. I love it. I'm loving our squad. I'm loving the Beasley energy. And before we get off this game, I want you to talk a little bit about your boy, the Rook, Ron Holland.
He just makes shit happen, dude. Like, anytime he's on the floor, whether his shot's falling or not, he is so aggressive, and he is just so, like, there's so many little things that he does, whether it's running back on defense after a play, that's just like, he really gets on his horse. You know, he just like motors. I remember him, he was asked, why do you run so fast in transition? And he's like, well, because coach knows I can. Because coach told me to. And I love that. And, you know, a second ago, I was being a little critical of the team's finishing. I think Ron is far and away the best finisher on the team around the rim.
It's real. It's really unreal how he finishes. There's at least one finish from him every game that I'm like, how? Like I stand up. I told you that what game was it in the? I think it was in the New Orleans Pelicans game that I went through the Ron Holland squat workout, and that's where so many times he does something where you get up off your seat and then you have to squat back down, then you get back up off your seat and you squat back down. I was doing Ron reps as he was wrecking the rim there, man. In these last
glutes
working, I was in the glute lab, son. Oh my God, I was there pushing it, growing a butt. I need a better butt. Why am I Jesus? Want a better butt? Watch Ron Holland. That's how you get a better butt.
I heard it here first.
New
workout plan. Watch Ron Holland.
He's just so exciting. And when you think about the way these players have grown, imagine when he's at the point where he's the Pistons starter, and it's coming. You know it's coming in a few years because the talent is there, the size is there, the drive is there. It's going to be explosive.
So you brought that up. We were chatting while we were watching the game. You were saying, imagine when he's a starter. And I was just thinking about that. Do you think he and Asar can start together? Because there was a point during that game, I skeeted it on Blue Sky, where it wasn't a long stretch, but it was Asar, Ron, and Durant all on the floor at once. And again, it didn't last long, but I think that might have been actually when the Pistons took the lead. Good things were happening.
Yeah.
But what do you envision long term in terms of the starting lineup as far as Asar, Ron, and Durant go?
So the only way that's possible is if Ron shoots the three, which isn't outlandish. It's really not crazy to say he'll be able to shoot the three. He's 19 years old. We've seen growth in this. Everyone who's seen his stroke knows it looks fine. The stroke don't look broke, right? It's there. He was hitting threes at an okay clip. It's a thing. It's a thing for him. And for me, I was a little bit more worried about like his vision and his passing. But literally every game in the last 2 months, he has had some sick passes. He's learning. This kid is learning. You get a couple more years with Fred Vincent in him. You get like a lot of this like professional work on the shot sort of situation where he's not the guy having to do everything. That was probably part of the problem at the G League Unite. It was not only did he have to score the ball, but he had to be the guy creating all those opportunities. Now he's not that. So it's like this season is, play your defense, fill your role as far as like a transition stud and take some shots when you can. But right now it seems like his game plan is to drive and finish, because that's working, make the most of his minutes, change the momentum of the game, and all that works for me. The reason I think that that lineup works so well, and that it has potential to work in spurts with this current iteration of the Pistons, is how do the Pistons take over games, Mickey?
Defense
Into offense, right?
Yep.
And if you have Duren's been running up the court. He's been coming up, and even if he's the last one up there, that's cleanup crew, right? If you have Asar and Ron both running up on both sides, and you have this Cade with the ball and one other person out there, it's going to be a 3-point shooter. So it's either going to be Malik or THJ or Ivy when he comes back. Any of those three. Right. They go to the perimeter. Now you have these other two guys, one of which is going to be open on the slash because no one's ever backing around enough. Their peskiness on defense going immediately into offense, even on a missed shot. Like when a shot gets missed, they run and go. There was a game a little while ago, I heard on the broadcast, the shot was up and Cade was in position to make the rebound. Before it even hit the rim, Cade was yelling, "Go, go, go." So you see people taking off, then it gets the board and it's down court already. And I can't wait to see this in the playoffs or maybe this can be like happening in the playoffs or even through like the next year or so, but off scores to just get the ball inbound, back in bounds and push immediately, just push the pace, because they are a hard team to contend with in the pace. So that's why I think it works. I think it works because the pace is so phenomenal when you have athletes of that magnitude with guys that have the vision that Cade has, that Asar has, and the cleanup that Duren has with the rebounding ability that Duren has. Yes, that can work, and it works to the Pistons' benefit.
So correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but in theory, you think that the combined defense of Asar and Ron make up for maybe like the lack of size we would then have at the 4 position. And I know the 4 position is kind of like a nebulous thing anyway, and Asar is so athletic, but is that fair to say?
I'd say 100% yes. Let's take a look at, let's consider it this year, right? So if we were to have that lineup out there, it's Cade Cunningham, probably THJ, I guess, as like the other person out there, and then Asar, Ron, and Duren. So Cade is 6'6". Some people say 6'8". He's huge. Asar is 6'6". Some people say 6'8". He plays big. Ron 6'7", THJ 6'7" or 6'8", and Duren 6'11". That's a large lineup. So you don't have like the biggest 4 out there. Everybody else is big for their position relatively, and that's an advantage your way. And when we're talking about the 4, you have like 2 types of teams, right? You have teams that have like the smaller 4 or teams that play like the bigger 4. And I guess that's like the Cavs are an example of like the big 4, and then even the Heat played a little bit like that when Bam played the 4, and Triple Ware was playing the Triple J. He's a big one as well. And who's their center? It's like Edie, I guess. So like
I don't know if he starts, but and I think sometimes Triple J is sort of a 4 or 5. Right.
So it's like you pick your poison. And if I'm being honest, Tobias has been holding up. Well, I guess I left him out. I should have said Tobias instead of THJ. But like regardless, let's say Tobias is there. He's been holding up really well on bigger players in the post. Like really, really well. I want to give some love to Tobias, as I often do, because I was so critical of his defense coming into this season, into the signing, and it's been such a pleasant surprise. It's so much better than everyone told me it was, and from the when I watched it. I think Philly is its own personal hell that people have to deal with, and they're going through it right now. So that's where I'm at with it. Do you think that lineup works? Do you think that Ron can play in the starting lineup?
I do. I think I agree with you. I think it's very shot dependent, and like it's almost hard to think this far in the future because there's so many variables to consider. Like, because once Tobias's contract ends, like whether we re-up on Toby or whatever happens with Ivy, like it's unclear. Like to me, like Ron could play 2 through pretty much 4, but it's just about balance. And like right now, I think what's cool about the Pistons is, unlike OKC where every player can kind of do everything, I think Indiana has a little bit of that too. We have a bunch of specialists, and I think it's really impressive how everyone sort of bought into their role, and JB is balancing everybody's skill sets. But I think what we have that a lot of teams don't have is like this incredible chemistry and energy and vibes sort of orbiting around Cade's like nucleus leadership. And I think you saw it from Tobias early on. Like, I think it was like, okay, wait, what's my role? How much is too much? How much is not enough? And I was a little frustrated early on with like his handle. I was like, oh, I feel like he's trying to put it on the deck too much. He's really found it in terms of like when to go get and when to defer. I love him taking advantage of mismatches, and that little midi jumper, little floater, just, oh my God, he's been dunking these days. He's been unafraid, like Duran, where it's like he is like sees someone and is like, you know what? I could just yam on this guy right now. Like, I'm not afraid of him. I've been really impressed with Tobias, and as you know, I was pretty critical early on in the season.
It's it's true. You were in, like, I think we both just got one over. I think, and part of it, I think you're being critical was that you were more excited about the signing than I was when it first happened. Like, the expectations were different. That was a big conversation going on in the Pistons Pulse, is like, what are the expectations of all these players? My expectations for Tobias were very low. I think a lot of people's expectations were higher than all that. And I truly think he's exceeded literally everybody's expectations. It's just a question of to what degree at this point.
I agree. I never thought for these 2 years that his contract was so bad. I know that was like the big criticism. And I understand that's like your second highest paid guy on the team currently, but what he brings in terms of like, it's not the same kind of leadership as Cade's leadership, but it is a steadiness and an experience and just sort of a knowing how to keep cool in high pressure situations. And the defense has been absolutely fantastic. Like, he's, I think, averaging around like on par with like his career highs in stocks, like if not exceeding it, certainly meeting it or coming close to it. And it's just, it's great to see he's still got it in the tank, and that just everyone's happy. Like there's not like, locker room problems or like disgruntled stars or just like, bad shit leaking. Like it's the vibes are incredible, and it's just good to see everybody bought in, having fun. Social team is killing it. I love seeing them
so great.
Go to the locker room after games, playing the Pistons one again. Like it's just it's really exciting energy. And I think the ESPN game was just so cool because it's not just us calling them the best story in the NBA. It's Perk. It's Malika. It's legit pundits talking about them.
I think I saw that Perk called Cade first team All NBA.
He did. That's before the game. I was going to bring that up.
That's sick.
Speak it into existence.
That's sick. I think Cade will get first team All NBA if the Pistons accomplish what my ideal scenario for the playoffs is, and that is if they play the New York Knicks in the first round, where the Pistons are the 3 seed and the Knicks are the 6 seed. Which it's unlikely, but
that is ideal. That is ideal. A lot has to happen. Although Brunson is hurt, so it's definitely possible.
Bro, the Knicks just got beat down by the Wemby-less, Fox-less Spurs. They gave up 34 points to Mama Kelashvili, I think that's his last name, in 19 minutes. Is that his first name, Svi? It's not Svi, Mikhaila.
I think so.
That's, if it is, wild. Another Svi.
Not Mikhailu. No. Different Svi. He's on the Jazz currently.
Oh, yes.
Former Pistons legend. Just like Kelly Olynyk. We have a lot of former legends.
Tons of legends. And speaking of people across the Atlantic Ocean, right? Yeah, the Atlantic Ocean. Let's take a minute to give some props to the European Union on the Pistons. And some of our backup guys with Dennis Schroeder and Simone Fontecchio. Shall we start with Tech? Because Tech's game against the Pelicans was spicy meatball.
Say, do your song. Do your song, or at least say it.
Okay.
This got me.
If you follow the Substack on the DFG in that game, the quote was, "When Tech shoots the three and it splashed perfectly, that's Simone."
That's Simone. I fucking love it. Great opportunity to remind y'all to like, subscribe. We're going for as many subscribers on YouTube as Malik Beasley has 3-point makes on the season. We've got a long way to go. He's going to keep sinking them. You got to keep liking. You got to keep subscribing. Share us with a friend. We're putting out content on Substack multiple times a week. We cover every game. We do little specialty write-ups on Pistons that are popping. We do polls. We want to interact with you. Interact with us, please.
We want you on this podcast. We want to hear what you want to talk about. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to bring your prophecy to the podcast and talk about it. Like, we're fans of this team, okay? That's not a secret. We chose to make this podcast because we love this team, and we were instructed by Hooper too. We were like essentially nearly trampled by Hooper and forced to. And lucky for you, we did, because now the Pistons win again and again and again and again and again and again. Not saying it's us, not saying that we did that, but
I'll say it.
But Hooper is saying that we did it.
Yeah, look, I'm just I'm not a math guy, but if you look at the numbers before and after this podcast, I would say it's pretty staggering. I think the Pistons are going to triple at least their win total from last season. 42 games?
They're 3 wins away. Right? 3 wins away in 13 games from that. Insane. The Pistons could realistically win 50 games this year. 50?
Yeah. And truly, I think they can make it out of the first round. If they advance further, this is like beyond historic.
Without a doubt.
Because I do think I looked up that like there have been crazy turnarounds. Not often, but I certainly not like worst to first.
The only worst to first in professional sports history was the Detroit Shock, I believe. So a Detroit story. Hey, basketball. And hopefully the Shock can come back soon. But when I saw a little stat about like the more prolific turnarounds. I think it was actually in a YouTube article about the Pistons and JB Bickerstaff and the job he did. And they're like, oh, the only other NBA turnarounds that have been bigger were when Boston got Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen to join Paul Pierce. So like adding 2 superstars. When the Spurs drafted Tim Duncan to go along with David Robinson. When the Spurs drafted David Robinson. So it's when teams get superstar players. That's the only time. What superstar did the Pistons add this year?
Tobias Harris, baby.
Malik Beasley.
Yeah, Malik Beasley.
I mean, granted, Malik is
second most 3-point makes in the league.
Is he second or is he at first? No, he's up there.
I think it's tight. I checked today, but it might not have updated.
Okay.
It might not have updated because I thought I remember hearing one of the broadcasters say that he was down 4
and then he hit 5. Yeah.
So
like, I want that for him so badly. I want him to get the most threes this year so badly. That'd be just so sweet. So sweet. But back to the European Union. We did leave off on that. And Simone Fontecchio,
sorry.
You don't have to apologize. Dude went 9 for 10 from the floor, shot 5 of 5 from 3. Was great. He's been good defensively this whole year. His offensive rebounding has been pretty fun. He's an attacker. If Simone continues to like up this progression that he's shown kind of since Schroeder has been on the team, as you pointed out many times, I might add, you keep pointing out that he's been so much better since we've gotten Dennis, which is true. And I think that's kind of why he was better last year, is because he was playing with Cade, who is a true point guard facilitator, right? You just giving him this sort of opportunity. That's going to make a huge difference in the playoffs. And when we take a look at Dennis Schroeder in the month of March, you want to guess how many turnovers he has?
4?
It's 7. So good guess.
Okay.
Good guess. You want
to
guess how many assists he has?
25?
50.
Whoa!
50 turnovers to 7 assists this month. This month. That's fucking nuts, dude. Like, yeah, the 3-point shot hasn't come around, but his drives have. And he's getting clutch free throws. And when he's playing with Cade, I feel very comfortable with the two of them out there. Things are coming together with this team, man. Like the bench is looking great. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I couldn't be happier with the progress.
Me too. As I've said, I do think Tech benefits from having a true PG, but I also think like maybe some of it was coming off an injury. Maybe that toe's feeling good, and it also seems like his process has improved in terms of not thinking too much, not putting it on the deck when he should just be pulling up. He seems to be back in that catch and shoot sort of mode, but also he's had some dunks, dude.
Yes, he has. He certainly has, and he puts a lot of funk into that dunk, right? It's
Sure does.
They're heavy.
Sure does.
It's heavy when he slams.
Yeah. I love him hitting the celebration too.
I love when he's not even smiling when he does it. He's running back like.
Awesome. That's a pretty good Tech, actually. Kind of nailed his
that sound,
facial expression.
Hey man, me, I got the Tech face and the Shaq voice. That's the thing I live for here.
You're a chameleon.
So looking ahead at the games we got coming up, we've got Dallas. We're at Dallas next, and they have to win that game. Dallas is so depleted and so sorry. And if I were Dallas, I'd kind of want to be losing that game at this point too. Just go. Let it all go. Then they've got New Orleans, who just beat Minnesota last night.
Well, Minnesota's like they're all out of sorts.
Weren't they? They were one of the hotter teams for a little bit though, and like I think they have a better record than the Pistons do right now.
Do they?
They do. They have 40 wins.
Do they really? Wow. Okay. I'm eating my words on that.
It's okay. I think the Timberwolves had won like 10 straight or something. I don't quote me on that, but I think they had been playing pretty well, and then they lost to New Orleans. And I mean Zion's playing nuts. He played great, but the defense in New Orleans that was given some 2023, 2024 Pistons without a doubt.
Well, all their wings are hurt. You've got Trey Murphy went down, which sucked.
Yeah.
In the first minute of the game, he went down. But Herb Jones has been out, and obviously DeJounte Murray, who's like a really good defender, has been hurt. Jose Alvarado can only do so much.
Yeah, he's a specific type of defender. On top of that,
and their center's a rookie, and he's not even bad. But it's just
he was pretty good. I like him.
Yeah,
on the real. Both rookie centers that we faced in the last two games, Yves Missy and Misi and Khalil Ware, I was impressed. I thought both kids did a hell of a job. I mean, Khalil had a costly turnover at the end of the last game, but like regardless, he was throwing down pretty well all night. Pretty good play for him.
I was not aware of him before this season. Really like what I've seen from him. He can also shoot it too. Like that's a really exciting prospect.
Yeah.
Also talking about rookie bigs who are having good seasons now is Alex Sarr. He gave it to us good.
Yeah.
And he's been on a nice little tear.
He gave it to us great, and then he gave it to the Nuggets even worse after that. Like
30 ball?
Mm-hmm. I'm happy we had Jamel on because we're talking about like that team is reminiscent of the Pistons from last year, not just in stats, but also because of this like young core. And now we're finally starting to see like a little bit from them. It's like, okay, these are guys to get like a little hyped by. It's nice.
Yeah.
So shout out to all those teams. Shout out to the young guys. Looking forward to seeing you play. So we got at Dallas. We got against New Orleans. So New Orleans at home. We have probably the Fox and Wembley-less San Antonio Spurs at home. And then we've got Cleveland at home. And Cleveland has dropped 3 straight.
Yeah. Maybe not as infallible as we thought. I just want to bring it back to the Dallas game for a second. Now, this is tough because Cade is a Texas native. Would you have him sit that game?
After watching last game, no. We were worried about the legs and stuff, and then he went 3 for 4 from 3, and it's like he's been getting to the rack. The energy's high. He hit 65 games the first time in his career. He's done 65 games, officially eligible for all these awards. Let him keep going, dude. It's not even like he's playing. He's not playing 35 minutes a game. He's not on that Tim Thibodeau diet, right? The Pistons are deep enough, and especially now with Schroeder out there and with like Asar doing some ball handling duties as well. He's getting some rest in games. It's fine.
Shout out to JB for like really what is Cade averaging, like 32, 33 minutes?
I think it's 32 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, that's and it's been really consistent. I think I was listening on Pistons Pulse just how consistent his lineups have been. And God, after last season, that is such a breath of fresh air.
It's so nice. This season is the polar opposite of last season, without a doubt. Darkest before dawn, the black jerseys into the white jerseys. It's just the sun
So
has
true.
risen a little bit.
Yes.
And it's I'm just thrilled. I'm eager to see how these guys do. I'm actually kind of eager to see what the playoff rotation's like, because are we going to shorten it? Maybe, but like, why? Almost. You know what I mean? Like, you going to play Ron less? You going to play Tech less? I doubt it. I would be surprised if there's much deviation from what's going on right now, because what's going on right now is really working. And this is my case for the playoff rotation staying similar to what's happening right now. The Pistons are a team that thrives on the break, in transition, pushing the energy, and they're not playing a lot of minutes to anybody in particular. That will be harder if you're playing singular guys more often through more games, especially that late into the season. Keep going, keep pushing, keep going at this level, stay healthy, stay safe. I'd be fine with there being no shortening of the rotation. How about you? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe the only thing I would do is just, I would imagine in the postseason, Cade might get more minutes. Just Cade might get more minutes, and you might, I don't know, I was going to say you might see some of the starters get more minutes, but like the bench brings something different. Like, and it's not like the starters are so much better than the bench. Like it's just about balance. And so I think it's going to be case by case. I think there's going to be certain lineups where you want Cade and Schroeder next to each other. I mean, and if Ivy is remotely healthy, like who knows what that does to the lineup. But no, I agree. I think JB's like a 10-man rotation guy. And I imagine he sticks with something pretty similar depending on case by case.
Yeah. I think it's very possible. And like you said, like the talent disparity from bench to starter, it's not crazy. I mean, it really isn't. It's crazy between like Cade and Schroeder, but Schroeder's still like good, legit good, and Asar and whoever your defensive specialist behind Asar is. But then you get an offensive boost a little bit. So it's like
with Beasley, yep.
Right. So like, I think we're in a pretty good position. The game we didn't talk about really at all, and it's part of the reason we didn't talk about it is because I'm still a little bit juiced in a negative way about it, is the Oklahoma City game that we had. We do have Oklahoma City again next month in April, right to start off the month. But that game was frustrating for a multitude of reasons, namely because they threw Cade out for pointing out that the Pistons should be at the free throw line when they were there. That sucks. And Pistons still got it back to 1. They did lose the game because Shea is a hell of a basketball player who gets an appropriate star whistle, I'll say, even though he does.
And then some.
And then some, I think is the way to put it.
You might add.
The Thunder got some particularly crazy calls, including a call for a review for a hostile act on our very own Beef Stew on a play that he did not touch the player who apparently had been hostile acted upon in Lugan's Dort.
Yeah.
Mickey, what is up with that?
I think it's just bias. Like I think that the league has been, this is tinfoil hat, whatever. I think the league is anti-Piston. I think it's not just JB, because JB is one of the more vocal coaches we've had in recent years. He is always talking.
Much love JB. I love hearing him all over broadcast.
It's the best. Well, and I know we're talking about the OKC game, but during the last night's game, he had to call out a travel. The ref wasn't going to call it. He said, look, he's traveling. I think it was Hero, maybe. Or maybe it was a double dribble. But he had to point it out to the ref. And, that's something that he's gotten teched for. So it's like he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. But no, I think the Pistons get a terrible whistle. And I think it does date back to just like historic reputational shit and the fact that they're not a giant market. And I think, unless they want to sponsor the podcast, I think it has a lot to do with BetMGM and DraftKings and, this new and exciting ESPN sports book that we're all just so juiced about.
Well, half of us.
Yeah. But no, I think on that play, Stu had a rough box out on other Jalen Williams, the center, who they then put on the line. But no, Dort just tripped over Shea's foot.
Yeah.
And Stu just gave a little shove. And then, Cade calls them out that they didn't line them up for the shot. They just gave J-Will the ball. And then he called that out. Then he might have thrown an F-bomb. And then they tossed it. Who gets tossed for that? The amount. And, look, I don't expect Cade to get the length of leash that Draymond Green gets. But give me a break.
Give me a break.
Those were also 2 texts in a matter of 15 seconds.
Right. And we're talking about the star player of the best story team in the NBA going against maybe the best team in the NBA. Don't you want your best story against the most likely champion team happening all at once, seeing that go all the way to the end? Why is that happening? It's so nuts. And for Stu in particular, for that hostile act on Stu, to think that was a hostile act, he's got a reputation that sucks, man. It absolutely sucks.
Yeah. No, and look, I think the reality is the league's not going to pay attention until we start making noise in the playoffs. But Stu is absolutely just one of the most vilified players in the league, and I think it's inappropriate, and I'm sick of it.
How sick
and I
of
think
it?
He deserves a little defense, and so we've got a little something prepared.
That's right. We made a little segment for everybody because, Stu, we see you. You are seen. Oops, that's the wrong thing. I pushed the wrong button. My bad. You saw some email. We'll cut that out. But Stu, like I said, we love you. In the NBA coverage community, the players are represented by 2 separate but equally important groups. The offense that garners all the shine and the defense that stops all the scorers. These are their stories.
Putting on my lawyer suit right now. And we're going to get into this, okay? Because Stu is getting a really bad rep, and he doesn't deserve it, okay? He's got a reputation. If you look at House of Highlights...
Hold on, go ahead.
If you look at...
Say that again if you don't mind.
Not at all. So Stu's getting a raw deal. He's earning a reputation that he doesn't deserve. He's being characterized by a lot of people, House of Highlights, fans, pundits, as a dirty player. Stu is not a dirty player. He is an aggressive player. But today we're going to get into why the Stu is worth the beef.
Oh, I like
Let's dive in.
Okay.
So let's talk flagrant fouls. Everybody's always accusing Stu of having so many flagrant fouls. But does he really have more flagrant fouls than anybody?
Did you send me this link? Am I supposed to have this link?
Oh, I thought you had the image of the. But the reality is,
I don't have the link. Just I have video stuff, but I don't have this link. So Mickey, does he have more flagrant fouls? You tell me. We're an audio medium anyway.
No, he doesn't. In fact, I believe Nick Claxton has more fouls. Or I believe the Triple J leads the league in flagrant fouls. Does Triple J have a reputation for being a dirty player?
I've never even come close to hearing him be a dirty player. I've never heard anyone say he's got an attitude problem. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about his reputation. Triple J really has more flagrants?
I believe he has 5.
Gosh.
I think Stu Max has 4, and I think he's tied with some other players. I think Dort has 4. I could be confusing flagrants and ejections. But Lou Dort also has a reputation. These are all defensive guys. And Stu is just sorely mischaracterized. Let's also take a look at one of the more memorable Stu flagrant fouls. Do you have that? The Giannis clip?
Yes, I do. Let me pull that up full and awesome. Look at this. Tech.
I mean, look, it's a rough foul. This was declared a flagrant 2, and Stu was tossed from the game. He dragged Giannis out of the air. He threw him to the ground by his jersey. Okay, if that's what we're calling a flagrant 2, let's take a look at another clip from another player.
Okay.
If you have it.
I have this one as well. This is the Philly clip, right?
Embiid?
Yeah.
Embiid?
Yeah, let me. Yep. Sorry, there's so many buttons here, man.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. You're doing a great job. Okay, I got it. I got it.
I didn't even pass the bar.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Listen, I had ad blocker, and now it's gone. First of all, Embiid was yelling at the ref. Let's get a close-up of that.
Okay, so we're looking at a very similar situation. Very similar situation. Yanks Mitchell Robinson out of the air, drags him to the ground. Flagrant 1. Embiid was not tossed. Granted, this was in the playoffs. I call bullshit.
To me, in the playoffs, that's even worse that he did that. That's a serious injury. I mean, granted, either way, it's bad. It's dangerous. You cannot tackle someone's legs like that. That's nuts. Truly nuts.
Yeah. So, all right. I think that's disrespectful. And, like, you know what? Joel Embiid is a MVP. Maybe that's why they're... Although I think that was actually before he was the MVP. I forget.
I believe it was, yeah.
Okay. Here is why Isaiah Stewart should be all defense.
Even though
you have the
even though he's not qualified,
you don't have the
you can't qualify because of the numbers, but why he should be nonetheless.
Right. You don't have the list of blocks, right?
I do not. Do you want me to pull that up?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I got it. So we don't have the list up right now, but Stu, the only players that have more blocks than Stu with less minutes are Daniel Gafford, Goga Batadze, and Donovan Clingan. All of these players are 2 to 6 inches taller than Stu. Stu is 6'8". Gafford and Goga are 6'10". Clingan is 7'2". So he's just exhibiting pure heart over height here. He's on a list amongst a bunch of great shot blockers, and he does not get the respect he deserves. I believe he is the number 1 rim protector off the bench after Naz Reid, and Naz Reid started a bunch, so I call bullshit. And to your point, by the way, about how he's ineligible for awards and all defensive teams, do you want to know why he's ineligible? Because you have to have at least 63 games of playing more than 20 minutes on the floor. He's only crossed that threshold 24 times, but do you know how many minutes he's averaging?
How many?
19 and 42 seconds. So we're going to split a hair over 18 seconds per game?
That sucks.
Robbery. Robbery.
Man.
The only crime, no crimes against Stu. The crimes against the league for robbing him of the credit that he deserves. I'm giving him his flowers. I don't give a shit about 18 seconds a game. I think that he is absolutely deserving of that award. All right, moving right along
to Exhibit B.
We've
that's Exhibit B. My bad. That's
okay.
Crazy.
We're just dipping our toe into the legal world here. This is new for all of us. But I also want to talk about, as we move on to Exhibit C, I want to move on to all the little things that Stu does that don't show up on the stat line. Do you have the video up?
I think I got it. Is this it?
Yeah. Yes, this is Isaiah Stewart playing defense on Jalen Suggs this season. You can just see Cade cheering him on, loving it. What he says is, that's what we want. That's what we want, is Stu to force Jalen Suggs into taking a bad shot. That's not going to show up on the stat line.
No.
That's not a block. That's not a rejection. That's just good defense. And that's the kind of guy he is.
Can I tell you, Mickey, that was one of my favorite moments from the season. That's when I knew everything was working for the Pistons. Watching Cade clap it up like Malik Beasley while Stu locks it down on Jalen Suggs to break the shot at the end, I was like, we're here. This team has arrived, and Stu is that dude.
Yeah. And it was just like a peak vibes moment too. Cade just clapping and you could hear him yelling. It was so huge. But this isn't new for Stu. He's always been an amazing defender, but he's also been an amazing teammate. Let's turn back the clock to 2022, I want to say. This is from a play in Ivy's rookie season. Do you have this clip?
I believe it's up. I love this. He's
Did it
going
play?
to pick him up. Yeah.
Did it play? I didn't see it behind the the Google Doc.
It did. It did indeed play.
Okay, great. This is classic teammate shit. Ivy knocks down Jalen Brunson and he goes to help him up. Stu drags him by the jersey and pulls him away and says, he's not with us. He's not on our team. You don't help him up. Bless Ivy. Sweet young man. Trying to do the right thing. New to the league. I want to say, I couldn't find this clip. I want to say Bill Laimbeer did the exact same thing in the Pistons 30 for 30.
He did. Yes, he did. Because you had me watch that somewhat recently, and I was like, God damn, Bill Laimbeer, that guy.
Yeah. So that's just classic Pistons stuff right there. And this isn't something that he needs to be told. This is just who he is. Next, before there was Jalen Duren, before there was Ron Holland, before there was a dog pound, there was just dog. Look at Jalen Duren pass off the belt to his co-dog pound member, Stu. Look at that. This is just like pure camaraderie teammate stuff. He's the longest tenured Piston on the team. Like, he has been setting that tone since way before any of these guys. And he deserves a ton of credit for that. This is why he's the heart and soul of the team. And for anyone who thinks Stu is mean, who thinks he's angry, thinks he's just trying to like hurt players or make fun of Miles Turner's for playing with Legos, he's actually a really good person. He has his own foundation.
Ooh, the Isaiah Stewart Learning Center.
Yeah. This is an after-school program for kids in Rochester, New York, where he's from. He cares about his community. He cares about his team. He's a good person. He's a good player. He deserves so much more credit. Oh, and also he has by far the best nickname in the league.
What is it?
Beef Stew.
Beef Stew. That's what it is.
Beef motherfucking stew.
Anyway,
I rest my case. I'm not a lawyer, but today I am, and I got to be honest. I feel like we won that one.
Wait, you rest your case? The defense never rests with beef stew. It's always on with beef stew. I find me in content of beef stew. I love every time he's out there.
Very content. Hold me in content.
Shout out Tim Contempt. Tim Contempt as
classic reference.
or Trevor Flanagan said on our show. If you don't know the reference, you got to go back and listen to the episode featuring Mike O'Keefe, a.k.a. Trevor Flanagan, the Cade Cunningham tax person, but very fun stuff. Well, I'll clean that up before the podcast audio goes up. But like overall, just great stuff, Mickey. Great research on a great player who, like you said, has been here from day one. And where would we be without Beef Stew? Truly,
nowhere. And it was a labor of love.
Mm-hmm.
I really love. Another great thing about Beef Stew too is that he's improved every year.
Yeah.
In some way, and this year I don't think there's a statistical peak, but I think the win total is case in point. And I don't have the research to support this, but I want to say that he has gotten so much better at finishing around the rim.
Oh my God!
I think he's it's like 62 point something. It's above league average now.
It's unreal, and he's got like kind of crafty moves that do not look good. I would say they're not the most aesthetically pleasing moves. He had a pivot fake wraparound on somebody in the Miami game yesterday, and I was like, God damn, Stu, like way to work that post, man. Like the footwork is there. He's catching more. Like seeing him catch the bounce passes from Cade and from Dennis. Really, really nice stuff. See him get some slams this year, too. I love a Stu slam. I love a beef stew slam, son. Very nice stuff.
Me too. And, I was going to say also, he's gotten really good at using the glass in really crafty ways to finish. And what I love about Stu, too, this isn't one of your stars who's afraid to who makes a business decision. Stu has never made a business decision in his life. He is not afraid to get slammed on, as we've seen on House of Highlights. They'll post Zion dunking on him. They'll post Tumani Kamara dunking on him. What they don't post are the 3 to 4 blocks that he has that season. That block that he had on Kristaps was insane. And I feel like every other game he has at least a couple massive swats.
Against Zion, he went back right the next play, blocked him. 2 plays later, blocks him again. That leads to a crazy transition bucket. And that second swat was nuts, man. It was like he was pounding a nail into the coffin. It was so gnarly. He's really good. The only reason we ever see like spectacular dunks over Stu is because that is the only way anyone can score over Stu. You have to bring your super, super, super all just on the off chance that you get that bucket. And defenders are still not winning that game. It's just not in their favor. He's an incredible player. He's an incredible talent. I'm so happy he's on this squad, bro.
Me too, man. And it's as great as it is to see Cade getting his flowers. Stu deserves them too. Longest tenured Piston on the team, and in my mind, for a while now, untouchable. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so Mickey, we're coming to a close here. We're hitting at about we're running over like an hour at this point.
Yeah.
I want to know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games left on the season. Again, Dallas, New Orleans, San Antonio, Cleveland, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Toronto, Memphis, Sacramento, New York, Milwaukee. Where do we end up? How many more wins do the Pistons get? What is your profit?
I'm going to say at least 6.
Okay.
At least 6. I might even say 8. As much as I'm looking forward to that rematch against OKC, they might be resting players. Their seed is secure. Shea's already sat out a game. I think he's sitting out tonight, or was it last night that he sat out? I wouldn't be surprised if they want to keep. What do you say?
They still won. They sat Shea and they still won.
Well, they're a great team. They're a really good team. But no, I'm really excited. What do you think? What's the record for you? Oh, God. Here it comes.
I think the Pistons win 9 more games to finish with 48.
You want that 50 piece?
Well, I think they win 48 on the season, right? Because you get 9 more wins. We're at, 39 right now? I do think 50 is possible. I truly think it's possible. I think here are games they should win. Dallas, New Orleans, San Antonio, Toronto, Sacramento. That's 5 that you should win, right? I think they beat New York. I think they beat Minnesota. I think they might beat Cleveland this time around. And I think they should split with the Bucks. That's my guess. And that'd be 10.
I would love to see them beat the Bucks in one of these games. We talked about it a little bit on the poll. I know you had an opinion then. Maybe you have a different opinion now. Do you want Cade sitting any of these games? Because I think there's a couple back-to-backs in that stretch somewhere.
There is a back-to-back Toronto and then Memphis, and then a back-to-back New York and
the Bucks isn't a back-to-back, right?
Right. It's a home back-to-back at the very least. So it's
not 2 in 2 days.
Right. So I was at rest Cade for a game. Now, like I said this earlier, who cares? Just keep going. Keep rolling with it. Like, one day of rest isn't going to like make or break anything. And we're not in a position where seeding doesn't matter. You know, like with Oklahoma City, they can sit players. Cleveland, you can sit players. Boston, they can sit players. That's about it as far as the NBA is concerned. Or I guess if you're Atlanta, you can sit whoever. You're Chicago, you can sit whoever. Miami, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what those teams are doing. But in the Pistons case, just keep it moving. I want Cade. The other reason again is I know this is a dumb stat, but I really want Cade to get that last triple-double, maybe 2. If he can get 2 more triple-doubles, I will lose my mind because this is a special season. He should be rewarded for as such. And if they win 10 games over this next 12, if they win 10 of these 12 games to get 49 wins on the season, potentially the 3rd seed. If they go 10-2 the rest of the way, there's a possibility there that you get that 3rd seed. Again, I would love to see Cade first team All NBA, and even if they don't, I just want them to be feeling themselves all the way through. Because, and I think I said this on a podcast, and if I haven't, I'm going to say it again now. I think this team has the potential to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I do, straight up. Sorry, at me, aggregate me, whatever. Tell me who they can't beat. I don't want to hear who you think they'll lose to. Tell me who they cannot beat in a series. And I think it's maybe one team. And I don't even know if that's totally true, considering the way they played them last time. And
Cleveland.
Again, we're talking deep, young, energetic, healthy team. Let's see where teams are at in the playoffs. Let's see what happens there.
Let's see.
So, Mickey, with that, let's finish off reminding people we do need you to like. We need you to subscribe. We would love to have another subscriber on here. We'd love to have plenty more subscribers out there. Our goal right now, it says 100. Our goal is technically 260-something, 270-something, because we're trying to beat Malik. We're trying to be bigger than Malik from deep. And we can only do that with you. We're going to get some more guests on the show. We got a whole bunch of people planned to come on and have fun. We've just been having a blast ourselves. Again, we're across all social medias. You can find us there. Whatever app you think we're on, with the exception of X. We're not doing X. Oh, we don't mess with X, FX.
Oh no.
But the others, we're there. You can find us on them, especially whatever. I'll say it on here. You can find us on Blue Sky. You can find us on Substack. You can find us on TikTok. I swear to God, we will. Sorry, Ivy and Hooper. I swear to gosh, we will get some more clips coming out here soon. I'm going through a little bit of computer issues right now. My new computer should be arriving here soon, but it's put a real damper.
Some good clips coming soon.
Oh yeah, real great ones. And if you guys have guests that you want to see us bring on the show, we're open to it. I'm all ears, baby. I'm all ears. I know Mickey wants to get the BetMGM or BetMG people out here, the DraftKings people out here. You want to get 2 kings before us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And, it doesn't have to be sports books. I'll also take other sponsors too. So, again, I'm just willing. I'm just think of me as like a blank canvas to advertise. I'm here. I'm ready to collect.
I do want to hear from the fans. Send us an email. We do have an email, ordertheblazing@gmail.com. Send us who you think you would like to see Mickey sponsored by on the podcast, and we'll give a list of all the people that Mickey should be sponsored by, all the groups that Mickey should be sponsored by on this next show. We'd love to have you there. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. We can't wait to see these next couple games. Can't wait for them to beat down Dallas for Cade's homecoming match. Homecoming king, we could say, as it were. And yes, show them what's up with that Pistons shirt. Give them that Pistons love, Mickey. And as we always do, as we end every episode, we read the Order of the Blazing Horse acronym, because that's how a horse talks. And we were brought here by a horse. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And as always...